Hi folks, Hugo Rivera here with HugoRiveraFitness, bringing you another Facebook Live where I'm going to be covering a fitness topic, and then we can go and dive into some questions and answers that any of you may have. Today I'm going to cover a topic that, I've been asked about to cover, which is basically, what kind of tactics I can share in terms of like setting goals and holding yourself accountable to deliver them, and as well, how do you keep a balance between, work and play, so to speak. So let me go ahead and answer that. But as I wait on some people, let me go ahead and just say hi to the people that come in. Tim, how are you, man? How are things going for you? We go ahead and wait for some more people to come in. Great. Awesome. This is great. Just people are just coming. So anyways, topic of today, like I said, it's going to be any questions you guys ask and also some goal setting stuff. So a model that I can share in terms of setting goals. Well, first and foremost, I think it's important for your goals to be clear. So you need to know exactly what is it that you're looking to do. Obviously you need to go ahead and have a short-term goal and some long-term goals. I mean, some of your goals are going to be, taking as much as a year, sometimes 2 years. Some of my clients, for example, they come to me and they're obese at the time that they come with me, and it may take a couple of years to get down to the kind of shape that they want, because it may take the first year to get rid of all the excess weight as we're gaining some muscle, and then for the second year to really fine tune the physique to go down to the lower body fat levels that they have never seen before. So, the key thing is to go ahead and just make a long-term goal a short-term one. You got to divide them into short-term ones, right? So if you want to go ahead and lose, say, 60 pounds of fat, you want to say, okay, well, if it takes me a week to go ahead and lose 2 pounds of body fat, then, in 10 weeks, I can go ahead and lose 20. So what you're doing is that you break down your goal into 3 10-week phases is what you want to go ahead and do, okay? So in this manner, you can go ahead and attack your goal and keep measuring every single week, seeing where you're going, okay? Let me go ahead and stop right now and just say hello to some people. 1 second. I have, Tim is doing great, training in 30. Yes, awesome, Tim. Good stuff. José, hola, José. How are you, man? Saludos, Luis. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? And we have a gentleman here that he's looking for a good supplement, and I'll talk about that later on, okay? Anyways, so back to the goal setting. We want to go ahead and just, like I said, take a long-term goal and you divide it into more manageable kind of goals. That way, for the first 10 weeks, you just completely focus yourself in losing those 20 pounds, and you want to make sure that you track progress at least every couple weeks, so that way you go ahead and see if you're in the right direction or not, and based on the kind of direction that you're seeing, you adjust your program. Like I've said many times, regardless of what your goal is going to be, you need to use some periodization, which means that for 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to go ahead and push the body to the limit using higher repetitions, using lower rest periods. And then for 3 weeks, you're going to go ahead and slow down a bit. You're going to ease on that kind of stress to allow the body to super compensate and grow. And you do that by increasing the weights and reducing the repetitions, and also allowing yourself a little bit more of extra recovery time in between sets. If you need a program for that, let me go ahead and share one with you here below. So you go ahead and see how I do all that stuff. It's my body reengineering system, and I go ahead and talk about that extensively. You can also take a look at my body sculpting Bibles as well. Let me go ahead and put the link here. There you go. Here's the link. There. Anyways, so that's that. In terms of the goal setting, the other thing that really helps you to stay accountable is to use a calendar, right? If you have a calendar and you can go ahead and that you trained that day, you go ahead and make a slash. If you dieted that day, you make another slash. That gives you an X. Your calendar should really have a lot of X's, okay? Depends on how much you're training. I mean, definitely you should have slashes all over the place for your diet. In terms of the training, if you're training 3 days a week, like many of my clients do, then you should have 3 X's every single week. And there really shouldn't be any excuse to not go ahead and have those 3 X's, because especially when it comes to 3 times a week training, I think it's much more manageable, because if you already know in advance that you're going to say have a day where you typically train that day, but maybe that day you're super busy and you don't think you will be able to, what I will recommend you do is that you move the day like, either forwards or a little bit backwards. And that way, you still get your 3 sessions a week, okay? Which leads me to the next step, which is planning. You got to plan in advance. I always recommend people to go ahead and take a look at their calendar, see how their schedule looks like for that week, and schedule their training days accordingly that way, okay? I'm really good at that, actually, because I know how my schedule is going to go ahead and look every single day. And the other thing that I do is that I'm very adaptable. Like if I schedule my training to be first thing in the morning on a specific day, if something happens to where my schedule changes, then I may go ahead and just try to squeeze in the training at lunchtime or later on in the day. Okay, so that way I stay adaptable. It's key to stay adaptable. Sometimes things don't work out exactly as planned, but it's okay, because if you have a plan, it actually increases your chances of being able to succeed, all right? Because if you just go ahead and say, well, I was going to go ahead and train in the morning and I couldn't, and then you just give up on the training, well, that's not going to do you any good. Instead, what I do is that I say, well, maybe I can squeeze it in at lunchtime, maybe I'll squeeze it in later in the night, and that's exactly what I do. So I never miss training sessions due to lack of planning. I'll put it to you that way. In fact, it gets to the point that even when we got, and some people may think this is extreme, but I'm just going to share it. When we got the hurricane over here, I didn't miss a training session. I didn't miss a meal. That was simply good planning, okay? All the meals, my wife went ahead and prepared them a week in advance, so everything was set. We had the fridge ready to where it could last without extra ice for like a couple of days. And I just put a whole bunch of like frozen gallons of water to just keep everything pretty cool. And that worked out pretty well, actually. With that strategy, I would have needed to refill with new ice every couple of days. But luckily, the lights came back on after 22 hours, so I didn't have to implement the full strategy. But the fact is that no meals were missed. Training got done. My gym is at home, so I have no excuse. And like I said, luckily the storm didn't blow us away. So the gym was fully operational. Therefore, I went ahead and I got my training in. So planning is everything. Okay, and goal setting is everything, and you need to write down your goals. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, because back in the day when I was starting, I thought it was dumb, but it's not. When you write down your goals, you make a contract with yourself to go ahead and set and do something. Okay, if you don't write them down, if you don't give them a time limit, which is the other thing, it's important to give your goals a time limit. Some people say, well, I just want to get big. Okay, so when are you gonna get big? Are you going to be big 12 weeks from now? And how big are you going to be? How's it going to look in terms of the body fat loss? How's it going to look in terms of the muscle gain? You got to make some very clear, measurable goals. Otherwise, it's very hard for you to do progress tracking and to see where you're at. Okay? So this is where a whole bunch of people, I think, miss the boat when it comes to their goals. They don't track things. They don't have clear goals. They don't even commit themselves to the goal. That's the other thing too. It's like, I think, I gotta say that all my clients are super committed. All of them. Tim, this goes up to you too, obviously. Just messing with you, buddy. You know it. Anyways, yeah, all my clients are super committed. And I mentioned Tim because Tim is like awesome. He's like so hardcore. He's a rock star too, by the way. Lives in Japan. He's here from the States. He moved from Cali to Japan. And Tim just goes into his balcony, and that's where he gets the job done. And no matter what, Tim is training. There was a typhoon coming the other day. Tim was training, like me. No difference. And the guy has made incredible progress, and he's making some very challenging changes into his program that we discussed, into his nutrition aspect of things. And that's going to go ahead and, honestly, I venture to say that it's going to probably double his gains. Kid you not, because it will have that kind of impact. And Tim is just going at it, regardless of how challenging the goal is. This is because he's committed to the goal. This is what differentiates the people that achieve success from the people that don't achieve success. Okay? A lot of people say, I want to go ahead and do something, but they don't really mean it. Because when push comes to shove and the hard decisions need to be made, they're like, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure about that, you know? That's the case. It's the absolute truth. I'm telling you. It's like, if you're not committed, you're not going to do what it takes. Okay? And if you're not committed, the first obstacle that comes along, you're just going to go ahead and give up, you know? I see a Tim said over here, thank you, brother. I have a calendar. I have non-drinking days calendar. Lots of slashes. Getting it done. And yeah, I'm totally committed. Yep. That's exactly right. You're the man, dude. It's like, I have mad respect for you. Let me see. I got another client over here. I'm sorry. I got Shenya Parker. How do you become your client? Well, first you got to talk to me over the phone. Like, I'm selective about my clients. But here's the link. Let me go ahead and give you the link, Shenya. Here you go. Hold on. Let me go ahead and post the link for you. So if you want to go ahead and explore coaching, you just go ahead and click on that link that I put, HugoRivera.net/go/apply. Click over there, schedule a phone call with me, and we'll go ahead and get to talk, and we'll see if it's the right fit for you. Okay? But that's how you can become a client of mine. All right? And I would love to go ahead and work with you, because I love to work with everybody. I love to work with people from all walks of life, from all ages, from any kind of goal that they may have. I have some competitors, believe it or not. Most people, they just want to go ahead and look great for life, kind of like me. I don't compete any longer, so that's what I do. So that's the deal right there. Okay, but anyways, going back to the whole goal setting thing, it's important that you're committed. All right, it's important that before you start this endeavor, that you will do whatever it takes to achieve the goals. Okay, and this goes for any goal, not just fitness. This goes for any goal, whether it's business, relationships, anything. You just got to be committed, okay? And you just got to understand that obstacles are going to come your way, and you need to then figure out a way to overcome that obstacle. Because if you don't overcome that obstacle, well, you're not going to achieve your goal. It's just that simple. With me, when I started, I just knew what I wanted. So as a result, even though I didn't have a clear plan, because I was not an expert back in the day. I mean, I wish I was. I wish I could just go back in time and just coach myself. That'd be cool. But not possible. But anyways, the deal is that I knew what I wanted, and I knew that I would do whichever sacrifice I needed to do in order to achieve my goals. So when it came time to decide between a burger or following my diet, well, following my diet is exactly what I would do, because I didn't care. It's like my goals were much more important to me than the pain of staying in the kind of physical state that I was, in which I was not happy with. So that's the deal. You just have to make it that much of a priority, because a lot of people just don't make it a priority. A lot of people say, well, I want to go ahead and lose weight, or I want to go ahead and gain muscle or whatever. And, when you start asking them, do you prepare your meals? No. Okay. Do you follow your training? No. Well, you're not really committed, right? So as a result, you're not making the results. So again, the calendar will show you at the end of the week if you're really committed or not. Because if you see a whole bunch of empty spaces and you're not making progress, well, you know what happened. You're not following your diet, you're not following your training. That's what's happening. And the calendar doesn't lie. It just will tell you straight up if you did it or not. So I think the calendar is a great idea. I think another great idea, obviously, is to go ahead and track your progress every couple of weeks, because if you take bi-weekly pictures, if you take bi-weekly measurements, and obviously you also measure your weight, that gives you some solid data as to what's happening. And when you go ahead and see your progress from week to week, it's going to motivate you. You can become your biggest source of motivation. A lot of people ask me, how do you stay motivated? I tell you, well, track your progress. It's going to go ahead and really help you tremendously. Granted, I also say, you may want to go ahead and get somebody that you really like, whose physique you admire, and maybe, cut some pictures or have a picture nearby by the phone or whatever, so you get inspired. But definitely the biggest source of motivation is going to be your own progress, to be honest with you, because if you see yourself progressing from week to week, you don't want to go backwards, right? So I think that's the deal right there. I have a question here. Risky Riskin says, can you tell me about a 6-pack diet plan? Sure. Let me go ahead and post over here this link for you. One sec. Wrong link. Give me a second, buddy. Check this one out, because the whole 6-pack stuff, if you want to go ahead and get abs, it's not just your diet. It's really your training and your nutrition put together. Okay? There you go. I just went ahead and posted for you, Risky. Sorry. Yeah. The whole thing for abs, for example. Okay, how do you get abs? Well, very simple. You got to go ahead and strip enough body fat to where for males, like around 10% body fat, you start seeing your abs. For females, it's going to be like 13% body fat. So the first goal needs to be, obviously, to lose body fat as you gain muscle. That should be your primary goal. So like I said at the beginning of the video, you want to go ahead and say, if you have 20 pounds to lose, well, that's going to be 10 weeks, because that's 2 pounds per week, And if you want to go ahead and give yourself a little bit of leeway, give yourself 12 weeks then. That way, if some week you didn't lose the exact 2 pounds, that's okay. You have an extra 2 weeks as a buffer. So you can go ahead and do that, okay? Who else do we have here? Risky says, thank you, sir. You're welcome, buddy. You're welcome. Christian Calderon, another one of my awesome clients, says, hey, friend, how are you? I'm doing wonderful, buddy. And you? I went ahead and emailed you yesterday, so we can go ahead and schedule a phone call, and we can talk. So just let me know when next week is good, and we'll get all that sorted for you. Just want to go ahead and make sure that you got my email, because I know how email is sometimes, But yeah, I'm doing awesome, man. Thank you for asking. Just had a great day today, just helping out a whole bunch of my clients over the phone, and I'm coming up with some new workouts for some people. So I just love doing that. I don't know. I can do that all day, and obviously that's what I do all day. So, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely. Anyways, thank you for being here. Today, Christian, I'm talking about goal setting and the importance of being committed to your goals and all that stuff. And again, props to you, because you also have made some pretty tough changes in your nutrition plan and, measuring and things like that. That's another thing that I want to go ahead and tell to people. Sometimes it's going to require that you change the way you do things, all right? It's going to require that you learn how to measure your food. It's going to require that you get used to doing that kind of stuff on a daily basis, because if you want to get your abs, if you want to get a 6-pack, as everybody calls it, then it's imperative that you measure your food consumption, because that way you know how many carbs, proteins, and fats you're taking in. And like I've told most people, a good baseline diet is 40% carbs, 40% proteins, 20% fats. It's a good way to start, okay? For most of us. If you have a faster metabolism, you're going to lose more carbs. But anyways, for most of us, that's how it works, okay? And then if you're not measuring your food, then how do you know how many macros you're taking in? You don't. So that's the deal right there, okay? That's how you go ahead and do that. So back to the whole goal setting thing. I think I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to go ahead and say in terms of setting goals and some tactics for goal setting. But definitely write down what your goals are. Okay, super duper important. Do that. Implement the whole calendar strategy. Know that you're committed to your goals, and then do whatever it takes to go ahead and make things happen, and track your progress. Because if you're not tracking your progress, I'm here to tell you, you're just going to become so discouraged and demotivated, because if you don't see progress, well, you think that you're not making progress. That discourages you, okay? So super duper important that you go ahead and track your progress. So these things are things that you need to implement if you really and truly want to get into the kind of shape that you want to get into. And yes, I mean, some of the things are at first a little bit uncomfortable, because, we're not used to doing those things, but it's like anything, I mean, anything worthwhile is going to go ahead and take some work and sacrifice. And if it will be easy to get in shape, then everybody will be in shape. Let's see. Christian says, yes, sir, next Tuesday around 8 p.m. Sounds good. Christian, next Tuesday at 8 it is. I'll touch bases with you at that time. Not a problem. Sounds great. I'll go ahead and put you in my Outlook calendar as soon as we're done over here. Thank you. That saves you an email, I guess. It's great. I had a gentleman over here asking about supplements, so I'll go ahead and answer that question. Again, the most important thing for your training program, for your fitness program, is your training and your nutrition, okay? After that comes the supplements. And when it comes to supplements, I think it's important to go ahead and have the basic supplements first taken care of, which is your multiple vitamin and mineral. I recommend some extra calcium, magnesium, and potassium for all of us who go ahead and train with weights, because we deplete those minerals more than most other people. So if you get depleted of those, you start getting cramps and things like that. So all my clients typically are on calcium, magnesium, and potassium. The other thing I recommend is essential fats, because the essential fats help your body to manufacture hormones, and also helps with anti-inflammation, brain function, and a whole bunch of other functions, including muscle building and fat burning. So fish oils every single day. I have some fish oils. I have some extra virgin coconut oil as well. And again, remember, I make sure that my fats are like 20% total of the calories. All right, so I don't go past that. Because some people think that because it's good fats, they can go ahead and consume as many as possible, and that's not the case. So just go ahead and keep it at that level. The other thing that I recommend is some protein powder, simply because it's hard for most people to go ahead and eat 5 to 6 real meals a day. So what I recommend you do is that you have a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, and then with the protein shakes in between. Okay, that'll go ahead and allow you to have the 5 to 6 required meals per day without much of a problem. So protein shakes are really, really cool. And then after that, if you want to go ahead and add some performance enhancing supplements like creatine, beta alanine, L-tyrosine, and things like that, I recommend you take a supplement like Supercharge. That's what I take. I take the stimulant-free version because I don't like to go ahead and have a lot of stimulants in my system. So I take the Labrada Nutrition stimulant-free Supercharge, which has all of those things. It has the creatine, it has the branching aminos, it has the nitric oxide boosters, the L-tyrosine, you name it. It has everything that I basically recommend for performance enhancing. And it just plainly works, but it only works if your training is correct and if your diet is correct. Otherwise, there's not a supplement that is going to go ahead and give you the results that you want just by taking it. Like, you can go ahead and take a pill and just magically end up with a great physique. It's just not going to happen. I mean, if somebody's telling you that, they're lying. It's just not happening at all. So training and nutrition, they go hand in hand, and that's really the key over here. Again, you got to train smart. People still tell me that they're training, 2 to 3 hours a day and they're not making gains. And I've said it a million times. It's like, if you're training for over 45 minutes, your cortisol levels are going to go through the roof, which means that your body is going to kill muscle tissue and it's going to preserve body fat. This is not what you want. This is why if you're training for 2 to 3 hours, you're not making the gains that you want. All right. So anyways, let's see. Yeah, that's the deal right there. So lower your training to 45 minutes or less, and you're going to go ahead and get the great results. And use periodization, like I say, like in my program over here, which I'll go ahead and post the link for. Let me go ahead and post it. My program, I go ahead and talk about periodization extensively. I present some a nice periodized model, and of course all my clients have like a tailored periodized model that works for them, and that goes ahead and takes them to the next level based on where they're at right now. Let me see what I have over here. Lupe, how are you? Lupe is awesome. You see another committed guy over here. This is what I was talking about. Lupe is a truck driver. Some people tell me, oh, well, I drive a truck, so I cannot go ahead and do bodybuilding. Well, Lupe carries with him a nice set of adjustable dumbbells, and that's how he gets his workouts in. Because you don't need fancy equipment to go ahead and make gains. You just need the determination and some equipment to make some gains over here. So Lupe is killing it out there. Super proud of you, man. You know that. Let me see. Lupe says, hey, Hugo, how are you? I just got the Supercharge, but haven't tried it yet. Yeah, Lupe, wait till you try it, man. That's pretty good stuff. The Did you get the stimulant-free version or the stimulant one? Like me, like I said, I just take the stimulant-free version because I just cannot tolerate the one with stimulants. But both are good. I mean, if you like stimulants, you know, you're gonna love the other supercharge because it has the stimulants. But me, I personally don't like it. And Lupe, let me know. Shoot me an email. Let me know what your schedule looks like for next week because I like to go ahead and touch bases with you, see how you are over the phone and stuff. We haven't talked in a while. So just shoot me an email. Let me know what's a good date, and we'll go ahead and get it going because I would love to go ahead and talk to you one-on-one and see where you're at. Shenya says, just made an appointment. Awesome. I look forward to speaking with you then. That'd be really cool. That'd be super cool. It's always a pleasure and an honor. I just love talking to people about getting in shape and helping everybody out because back when I started, I had no clue how to go about things. So as a result, it took me years to figure things out. And that was wasted time. I mean, in my opinion, knowing now what I know, the quickest way to achieve results is to just go ahead and hire a coach, to be quite honest with you. Because, I mean, that way you just get the plan and then, you know what? Just follow the plan and you learn along the way what needs to, you know, why things are the way they are. And then you save yourself tons of time. If you cannot afford that, that's cool. Then, you know, you go ahead and go to a really good book. I just went ahead and posted the link for the one that I have. And then, you know, you can go ahead and put the program, some of the program yourself. Like, for example, in all my books, I go ahead and have very detailed diets and very detailed instructions on how to go ahead and put the diets together and everything like that. But obviously with my coaching services, what I go ahead and do is that I see what you like, I see what your body, you know, where you're at, and I can go ahead and tailor things more, obviously, you know, and I just go ahead and give you everything kind of like pre-prepared and just personalized for you. Let's see, Rafael Antonio says, Hugo, hola, buenas noches. Buenas noches, Rafael, ¿cómo estás? Espero que estés bien. Lupe says, I'm doing good. Last week was rough. Didn't work out at all. I got the free version. I should be home on Tuesday if that works for you. Tuesday works fine. Just like mid-afternoon. Pick any day, any time, sorry. Mid-afternoon, Tuesday is good. Tuesday at 8 o'clock is already taken. But if we do Tuesday like mid-afternoon, that should be good for us, buddy. Not a problem. Just let me know what's good, and I'll go ahead and I'll schedule you in, and we can go ahead and talk. That'd be awesome. Let's see what else we have. Shenya asked me, so do you charge? Does it vary? My coaching packages, it depends on how much help you need, Shenya. So that's why we talk over the phone. For the phone call, the initial phone call, I don't charge. We just go ahead and see where you're at, and if we can, we'll go ahead and work together. And then based on where you're at, you know, I go ahead and show you different packages that, you know, I'll just go ahead and show you the ones that I feel that you will benefit from, and then we go ahead and take it from there. So yes, that's how that works. Okay. Let's see. So what else? Let's go ahead and see if there are any other questions here. Okay. I think I covered all those questions over there, which is great. Let me see if any of you have any questions. Just go ahead and throw them in right now, since I already covered the topic on the goal setting. Let me see if there was other stuff. Oh, there's one thing I didn't answer. How do you keep a balance between work and play? Balance between work and play. Well, I think it's a matter of planning, right? I think what I typically do is that I plan things in advance. So, I mean, if I know that for example, like tomorrow's Saturday, if I wanted to go ahead and do something during the day, then I know that I need to wake up early to go ahead and get my workout done. I have all my meals pre-prepared. So in that manner, I don't have to go ahead and worry about that later on, right? So I then would prepare my meals today. In fact, my wife already prepared them, so everything is ready to go, really, for tomorrow. And I would just go ahead and wake up early to make sure that I get the workout out of the way, and then off I go, because then all my meals are ready to go and everything else like that. I think it's important to have a balance. Some people lose sight of that. It's like, you know, the fact that you're into fitness, it doesn't mean that you cannot do good things. It doesn't mean that you have to eat bland foods all the time. This is not the case. I mean, in fact, you can learn how to eat some very good foods. In fact, in my Body Sculpting Bibles, Chef Mary did a great job in putting together some awesome recipes that are 40-40-20 recipes, and they're delicious recipes. So you don't need to eat bland all the time, okay? So that factors into the whole play scenario right there, okay? And, you know, if you're going to go ahead and have a training day like over the weekends like I do all the time, then do them in the morning. That way the rest of the day is free, you know? So it goes back to proper planning. Everything goes back to proper planning, you know? If you plan things in advance, it just really helps you to keep with your fitness lifestyle, okay? That's the whole ticket right there. You know, just keep that in mind, because a whole bunch of people I sometimes hear, oh, you know, I didn't do this or that because I needed to train or that or this or the other thing. But in reality, the training, you can go ahead and schedule it to where you get it out of the way earlier, and then that doesn't interfere with the rest of your day, you know. I think it's important to go ahead and have family time and all that stuff. So, I mean, obviously, right? Training should be something that enhances your life. It shouldn't be hindering your life, okay? Now, it's a different story if you're getting ready for a contest, okay? And that's a personal decision that everybody makes if you ever want to go through that experience or not. And that's pretty extreme. I'll be very honest with you. Going through contest preparation is pretty extreme, and there's really no room for balance when there's a contest prep. So in that case, I would say that, you know, you know what you're doing and you know what your goals are, okay? In my case, like, for the most part, during my competitive years, I would just compete once a year, for the most part. Last year, I competed a couple times. In fact, the last year of my competition career, I think I competed at the beginning of the year, if I remember correctly. But then I definitely competed a couple times because I had to do the Southern States, win that class, and then go into the USA's 3 weeks later. So that's 2 contests right there. I think I competed 3 times in 2007, which was my last competition year. But you know, again, you gotta plan. You gotta know, okay, well, during these weeks, I'm just gonna be like all into competition training, so it's gonna be no balance. But then hopefully you go ahead and have balance the rest of the year, you know. So everything is about planning. That's the bottom line, you know. You got to plan things around, because if you don't plan things around, things are not gonna turn out for you in the way that you want them to turn out. So that's the whole deal right there. What else do we have here? Let's see. Luis says, ¿qué opinas de las personas que entrenan duro y no se cuidan en la alimentación? What Luis says is that, like, what are your thoughts on people that train hard and they don't take care of their nutrition? I'll answer in Spanish first, and then I'm going to go ahead and answer in English. Luis, la alimentación y el entrenamiento son totalmente necesarios. Si uno entrena duro, pero entonces no tiene la alimentación, no vas a tener los resultados necesarios. Eso es así, eso es preciso. O sea, el que entrena, pero no come bien, pues simplemente no va a tener más resultados después de cierto punto, ¿ok? O sea, la persona pierde el tiempo. So let me translate that. Basically, what I said is that training and dieting go hand in hand. Basically, if you train hard but you don't diet, you're not going to go ahead and get the results that you want. At the beginning, you may get some results, yes, but then you will not go past a certain point because you're not nourishing your body, and your body needs that kind of nourishment in order to go ahead and take it to the next level, okay? So, let me switch back to Spanish. Así que, en mi opinión, Luis, el entrenamiento y la nutrición son como las ruedas de la bicicleta, okay? Si te falta una, pues no vas a llegar al otro sitio. Así que es importantísimo que los dos factores estén en igual magnitud, o sea, que la persona le dé la importancia necesaria. Okay? So what I basically said is that it's super important that people, you know, remember that training and nutrition go hand in hand. They're like the wheels of a bicycle. If you're missing a wheel, you're not going to get to the next point. So that's kind of like a problem. So definitely super important to go ahead and train and diet equally hard. Hugo, are BCAAs more optimal than EAA? Christian Calderon says. Christian, Could you please tell me what EAA is? Because I think I lost you a little bit there. I'm not exactly sure what supplement you're referring to. So if you could illustrate me, I'll go ahead and answer your question. BCAA is more optimal than EAA. Okay. Let me know what EAA is, and I'll get back to you on that. Luis says, comprendido, gracias. Gracias por contestar en español, amigo. Luis says, understood. Thank you for answering in Spanish, my friend. Awesome. Un placer. A pleasure. Uriel says, Hugo Rivera, number one, thanks for everything you have done for me, brother. Uriel, it's a pleasure, buddy. It really and truly is, man. It's a pleasure and an honor. Good to see you here, by the way. Hope everything is going well on your end. Really and truly. I haven't heard from you in a while. So I hope everything is going really good for you, man. Really do. And if you need any help, you know where I'm at. Luis says, haha. Oh, okay. Thank you, Christian. Christian says EAA is essential amino acids. Okay. Got it. Okay. Here's the deal, Christian. The branching aminos are going to be better than the essential aminos because you get the essential aminos like with all your proteins, your complete proteins, right? Like your chicken, your turkey, your lean red meats, whatever. It's all going to have all those essential aminos. So in my opinion, for performance enhancement, what's best is to go ahead and take some branching amino acids like before, during, or after the workout, because these ones are going to go ahead and help your body to use the aminos that get burned off the most during that time, okay? So branching amino acids, super duper useful when you're trying to go ahead and gain some muscle and, lose body fat. Like I said, the essential aminos, I remember for a while they were super popular in bodybuilding, but really and truly, in my opinion, there's really no need for them if you're eating enough proteins, okay? Because you're getting all that from food, right? The key to go ahead and take some extra branch chain amino acids is to go ahead and to get a supra-physiological dose of those things. Like, it would be hard for you to get those extra branch chain amino acids just from food alone, okay? So it's just much better to go ahead and supplement them, okay? So yeah, branch chain aminos, they're just absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. I totally believe in those. Uriel says, thanks, bro. My pleasure, buddy. My pleasure. So definitely keep the questions coming. I'm going to go ahead and stay online for a couple more minutes over here. As long as I get some questions. If I don't get any questions, I'll be signing off, and then, we'll be reconvening again this coming week. But like I said, for those of you that are looking for coaching or that need some manual to go ahead and help you with your goals, let me go ahead and post again the link here, since many of you have been asking. Let's see, let me go ahead and post the link. There you go. Oops. Put a whole bunch of spaces there. Don't know why. There we go. There's the link again. And anyways, yeah. Christian says, thanks, Hugo. You're welcome, buddy. You're welcome. My pleasure. Definitely go ahead and put a plethora of questions together for our conversation, okay? And Christian, if you can go ahead and send me, the same with you, Lupe. Christian and Lupe, this is for you guys. If you guys can send me your current pictures, send them to me via email, and your current measurements and stuff like that, so we can go ahead and talk about it on Tuesday, all right, to see where your progress is at. Because like I said, I want you guys both ripped up. It's my whole goal in life, to get everybody shredded. Men and women alike. So yeah, that's my whole thing. Anyways, yeah, I'm creating a super soldier army over here. Let's see. All right, well, I think that's it for today. Let me see if I have anything via email that maybe I can go ahead and answer. 1 second. Let's see. One sec. I think I had some stuff via email that may be beneficial. I don't know. Okay. This is a question that may go ahead and help. This is actually from a client of mine, so I'll go ahead and share the question with you all. Why do you recommend that I press with the ball of the foot on some of the white stand squat movements and with the heels in some other white stand squat movements. There's a good reason for that. The reason for that is that if you go ahead and press with the heels, you're going to emphasize the glute and the hamstrings. If you go ahead and press with the ball of the foot, you're going to emphasize the quads. So that works for lunges, that works for squats, okay? That's how it is. If you're pressing with the heels, you're emphasizing the glutes and the hams. If you're pressing with the ball of the foot, you're emphasizing the quads. So that's really crucial to know, because that could go ahead and change the way that you get results out of your exercises, okay? That way, if you know that you want to go ahead and emphasize, you know, the glutes, press with the heel. Same thing on the leg press. You can go ahead and press with the heel on the leg press, okay? Press with the heel, emphasize the glute and the hams. Press with the ball of the foot, you emphasize the quads, okay? So for a lot of my female clients, I go ahead and I incorporate a lot of white stand squat movements and lunge movements with, you know, pressing with the heel, because typically the glute hamstring area is a female problem area, you know. And I actually have a whole bunch of guys too that I go ahead and give that as well, because it's important to go ahead and have proper symmetry. You don't want to go ahead and have some incredible quads, and then when you look at the glute and hamstrings, you have nothing. I mean, you got to be symmetrical from the front and the back, right? So super important. So yeah, I learned this during my competition years when, you know, it was Tim Gardner who actually taught me these things. So big shout out to Tim. He's awesome. Yeah, this was key. Back in the day when I started competing, I didn't have a clue this was the case. It is the case. You gotta go ahead and see where you're pressing, and based on that, it's gonna go ahead and activate different muscle fibers. Okay, so really and truly cool stuff. Anyways, I think that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed this live. I thank you all for coming. It's always a pleasure to go ahead and hang out with you all on Friday night. And anyways, I will go ahead and be seeing you next week. In fact, actually, you may see me a little bit earlier, because if I have a little bit of extra time, I'll go ahead and do a few more lives over here to go ahead and help some people out, because I'm getting a whole bunch of emails from you know, people via Facebook, via Twitter, via via Instagram, via everywhere. Actually, I'm getting emails everywhere. So, and I see that people are very confused. So, I mean, if I have some time, I'll go ahead and, you know, try to do a few more lives. But definitely, you can always rest assured that I'll be doing a live every Friday. It's always going to be typically at 7. And if it's not at 7, I'll go ahead and list it. I'll say that I'm running late, and, you know, it'll be 7:30. But typically around this time, I always do a live on Friday. So you can go ahead and ask me questions over here during the live. And, you know, and like I said, I'll go ahead and try to make some extra time to go ahead and help out. Okay. Anyways, huge thanks to everybody. And like I said, Lupe and Christian, if you can send me some pictures and some progress, let me definitely send them to me sometime before Tuesday. I mean, you could do it on Monday. It's cool with me. But definitely that way on Tuesday, we can go ahead and have a very cool conversation over the phone. All right. Anyways, with that said, thank you so much for everybody that showed up over here. And until next time, take care and train hard. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.